What's up, guys? Operation Pour here. I'm out here sipping on that Alani new energy drink, baby. About to hit a good lift. Hopefully you're about to hit a good lift or crush this day, or whenever you're listening. You just got back in from work, kick back and relax, man. Let's have this discussion. So today's discussion is about belt kit. I've got a lot of requests to do belt kit, and I haven't done it yet. I do have a budget one coming. You might even get it teased in this video. If I decide to do B-roll, it's probably just going to be a picture. This is mainly a discussion to listen to and for you to comment to down below and say, hey, I agree, or hey, I don't agree, and this is why. Let's try to keep it respectful. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. So what is my personal opinion on it, and what would I recommend if you want to run belt kit? Well, it's kind of, I see belt kit as kind of like a double-edged sword. When you are standing upright, as in completely vertical, and you're running and you're moving and you're clearing rooms and all that, and you're not sitting down or in a vehicle or in the prone or literally anything else other than just standing straight up, I see belt kit as perfect. You have all the weight on your hips most of the time if it's, a decent rig, or you can, if there's any weight, is what I'm trying to say. The human brain, right? If there's any extra weight, you can add suspenders around or on the belt and make it a lot more viable that way. So you got weight on your shoulders and you got weight on your hips, and then you can also add a salt pack or a ruck if you need to, and it's not really getting in the way most of the time, depending on your body type, of the ruck. A lot of kits, they struggle, especially if they have pouches and stuff on the back end, like most belt kits do, or how most people set them up, to where you can't have a backpack, an assault pack, or a rucksack on the back. So they do excel in the vertical standing up plane. Ease of access, drawing a pistol, changing mags from the belt is so much easier. I don't care who you are. It's so much easier and more natural than changing mags from the chest, whether that be pistol, whether that be AR, AK. It doesn't matter. It's a lot easier to just reach down on your left side, pull a mag out, and pop it in. Or, if you're left-handed, reach down on your right side, pull a mag out and pop it in. It's so much easier to reload. It's faster to reload that way. It's more efficient to reload from the belt. Also, belt kits, a lot of people sleep on them. They set up a war belt for fighting, but they never add sustainment. But you can add a really big butt pack on the back, like those old Alice gear butt packs that you see. And they make other ones now. I just need to clarify that real quick. They make a ton of different butt packs now, but they make some that are decently big, and you can have a full-blown survival kit. You can put your IFAK in there. So if you don't want your IFAK separate, but you want it kind of in the survival kit, you can do that. They make them pretty big now, and that just goes on your back or right on top of your butt. Now, the problem with that is if you want to run sustainment and you want to run a canteen, because you're going to have hydration, and that's going to be your main go-to rig, and you're not going to have anything on your chest, or you might have your sleeping stuff and all that, and your food. You might have that in your rucksack, but everything else, medical, shooting and moving, all that stuff, your weapons cleaning kit and all that junk you want to put on your belt kit. This is the problem that I've always ran into, and why I don't personally run it. Because when you're in a gunfight, you're not going to be standing up all the time. You might have to dive behind trees, behind cover. You might have to do combat rolls. You might have to get down in the prone. We're not talking about ordinary self-defense here. Guys, if you're going to be wearing LBE or belt kit, you're probably in a war zone of some sort. Movement is life, and movement is key, right? So one thing is suppressive fire. So you need to carry a lot of ammo, because movement is life and movement is key on the battlefield. As well as you're going to be in the prone. You're going to be rolling. You're going to be kneeling down. You're going to be in very awkward positions. You're going to be sprinting. You're going to be literally sliding down mountains if you live in the Appalachian region. You're going to be climbing cliffs. You're going to be sitting in vehicles. You're going to be moving. You're going to be shooting. You're going to be communicating. You're not going to be doing CQB. And if you are doing CQB, you're a dumbass. If you're clearing any building besides your own house, you are a dumbass. You shouldn't be doing that. Now, if you absolutely have to and you have no other choice, well, best of luck to you. But it's not like it is in the video games. You can shoot through drywall. I mean, if I hear something knocking and it's into the world, I'm just shooting through the wall. Dog, I'm mag dumping the wall. 90% of people is going to mag dump the wall. They're not going to wait till you're in the fatal funnel. That don't exist in real life. This is real life, guys. This is real life, without rule of law. Nobody's going to give a shit. If they know where their team is, they're just going to shoot through the walls. That whole house is going to be ate up with bullet holes. So what I'm saying there is belt kit would excel in CQB if you were in a concrete building, but for most, like 99.999% of situations, even the crazy ones, belt kit is not really... It takes that CQB aspect out of it. That's what I'm trying to say. It takes that close quarters battle aspect out of it. Like I said, if you are actively up and engaging, it is perfect. But as soon as you go to sit down and rest, let's say you're rucking, you're on a hike, you're going to set up a patrol base, and you're 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 miles out in the bush, especially in hilly terrain or, steep terrain and stuff like that. One, the belt chafes, even with suspenders, I've noticed, most of the time, most of the kits I've tried out. As well as they're not comfortable. They're comfortable until, like I said, you get anywhere, you sit down, and then you got a canteen and you're literally in your ass, your keister in your canteen, or your whatever's in your butt pack, or if you lean, or if you lay on your side to rest. I mean, we're human. You can't be the perfect soldier all the time. Like, you have to actually rest. And some people might be like, oh, if you want to sit down for 5 minutes, just take it off. Well, yeah, but with the webbing and everything, how damn annoying is that going to be to keep taking off and on all day from humping it? I mean, that's just it's not feasible. Another thing is, you could say, well, if you need to go into the prone, unclip the belt like a split rig and drop down in the prone, which that's true. And if you need to go into the prone and it's already pre-planned, let's say you got an LPOP or you're doing some recon and you need to get low to the ground, yeah, that's great. But if you're actively getting, shot at, you're not really going to be thinking about unclip my belt before I start shooting back. No, you're automatically going to start shooting back, or at least scanning for the threat first before you even consider, hey, before I hop down into the prone to minimize my silhouette at this 200, 300 meter distance, I'm going to unclip my belt. Now, I know, listen, when we talk about any of this stuff, it's, if this happens, if that happens, it's all situation dependent. But when your only situation that you really excel in is you're standing straight up vertical, you're not bending down, you're not kneeling, you're not side to side, you're not shooting on your side, you're not shooting in awkward positions. When you're perfect at one thing, but there's so much more that could happen, I don't think it's versatile in that way. I think it's versatile in the way of the stuff that you can carry. You can carry a full combat load on them. I've seen people set them up to, crazy capacities with the advent of the adding of the butt pack and then all that and the sustainment. And you can just have as many pouches as you can fit, grenade pouches, radio pouches up on the suspenders, all kinds of cool stuff you can do with them. And it looks good. It does. It looks cool. But there's a lot of stuff you got to be cautious for, like all that weight banging around on your hips. Also, if it's hip level, keep in mind with the rucksack, you can't technically use the kidney strap. At least the way I run mine is at waist level or a little bit above waist level. So then when you start adding more gear to you, it kind of just gets you tangled up in a web of mess. To combat this, my rig is a TAPS panel. If I'm doing any kind of recon or long-range operations, if I'm doing SPR whatever, special purpose rifle training or whatever, it's, if I'm actually out in the bush, I'll put it that way, not just shooting, it's a TAPS panel because it's got 2 clips, clip, it's unclipped. I can throw it down and do whatever. But also, it's not too bad getting in the prone. When I'm tired, I can sit up against my rug, literally just sit down. I can slide down the hills, which is a thing that I do. If you live in the Appalachian region, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I will literally sit down and I will slide 60 to 100 foot down these hills on my butt, like a kid in a playground. Literally, I will just sit down and slide because it's so steep. There's no point in trying to break my ankle going down it. I will sit down and I will slide down these hills. A lot of people don't believe that until they go out with me, and then I'm like, all right, let's get down there. And they're like, okay. And then I literally just sit down and slide like one big push. I've never really got hurt doing it. One time I did land on a stick and it did not go in the right place, but that's literally how I move. Trying to do that with a not even a butt pack, but just trying to do that with belt kit. Not only have I lost stuff before and had to climb back up the hill, but also it's chafed me, it's cut me in the back. It's not good for what I do personally. That's why my opinion is probably a little bit biased. For standing, it's perfect. For even sitting in a chair to rest, for sitting down and resting, for anything else other than if you're constantly standing like the Terminator or something, it definitely has drawbacks. Now, I don't know your particular situation. I don't know your plan. I don't know how you train. I'm not saying it's useless. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. Just keep all this in mind. And this is all personal experience. I didn't draw from anywhere else. It's just for me, personally, I don't use it. And if you do see me using it, it's probably for a video. This also encompasses war belts. Everything I said goes with war belts as well. Typically, those are dressed out a little bit lighter. Belt kit is typically more sustainment oriented, and then a war belt is typically for just assault and tactical ops. So I know that was a lot, but pretty much unless you're standing 24/7, it's not necessarily the best idea. Just keep that in mind. I want to know your guys' opinions down below. I know some people are going to be mad, but it's true. I mean, if you've ever had belt kit and then tried to sit and drive with all that crap at waist level, sticking every which way, and you can't sit back, and this ain't even a seatbelt thing or anything like that. Like, generally, if you try to drive with or without a seatbelt, it is really uncomfortable, not good at all for your back. Trying to do that with a canteen on your back or whatever you got, it's not good. Let me know down below what you think. God bless you. Peace out.